Hi, and welcome again to Umbraco tutorials. Today we are going to do part 21. The plan for today is to do the Google Recaptcha. So we have done last time the Umbraco that contacts us forum, the controller with the front end. But I think it's a good idea to add the Google Recaptcha and to learn how we can create it as a service in Umbraco. So Recaptcha uh, from Google. So they have the documentation. They have Recaptcha V2 and V3. We are going to use V2 till now. It's too popular. I don't know why. I like V3. It goes easier and simpler. But we'll go with the follow and we see what we have here in Recaptcha 2, V2. So it's very simple here. They are explaining actually everything you need to do. I will make it simple for you as much as we can. How to be implemented in Umbraco. So where that recaptcha will be. So we'll add something here under between the message and the button. A small box will be the recaptcha box, and we'll see. So if you click next, send, you'll not be able to send till you get that token, and also you verify it. So how we can do that? I will close this one. I will keep this. Maybe I add it in the comment for you. This page. It's very useful. You can see just how they are working there, but I will leave it for now. So let's go to our project and see how we can implement it. So first thing is we need to go in the front end of that forum feedback or contact us for feedback. So if you see, I just left a few simple code here. It was commented here. So what is that? So this box here, I will store the token after I get it from Google. So I will store it in this box. We'll see that together. We'll see it together there. So also the JavaScript. So as we know, the reCAPTCHA, I need to send it to the backend to verify it. So the first things, we'll get it in the front end. We tick on the mark, we mark it OK. So that token need to be sent to the backend to be verified as that token is valid or not valid, not just doing the front end. So also here I will make sure I'm getting the reCAPTCHA. So if it's null, so I will send the notification to the user. I say to him, you have to apply the reCAPTCHA. This piece of code here, it's simple code. It is just to get the reCAPTCHA, and when you click that button, and also you return it back to the input box to fill it here in this input box. So that's till now simple. So we got the JavaScript, and we got the where we are going to store it. So from here it will go to the backend. But still here we need to add a few pieces of code for this one, because as you know, they are mentioning that here you have to add the JavaScript to render this reCAPTCHA box. So what the best thing is we can do, let's leave this one and let's go to the bundles we have created before. So I'll create a new bundle here. I call it maybe let's say Google Recaptcha here. We can add a new bundle just to make our code tidy, but we can use it in many places if you want. Let's do like this, and we get that file from Google and just leave it here as it. We don't change anything here. Just save it, and that's it. So that file we have to call it in our forum. So it was partial view. I will add it here. So in the bundles, call the what do you call it? The Google Recaptcha bundles there. So I'll leave this one for now. That's it. So as you know, Google Recaptcha, they need the side key and the secret key. So how we can get that secret key and side key? Till now we are okay. So we need way to inject that keys here in this one. So where is that key first? So if we go to again back to Google Recaptcha, so they have something called the admin. You can go to a Google Recaptcha admin site. So here you can create as much as you want. But here already I have one. I call it localhost. So if I click on the settings, so to be able to render that reCAPTCHA, to see it in your site, you have to say, this is my localhost. I wanna that Recaptcha to work with my local host, or you can pass your Google, let's suppose for your domain, sorry, not Google, any domain, or the domain you are working with, you have to pass it here. Just save it, and the important things, you have to get the 2 keys. So these 2 keys, we'll use them to render that Recaptcha. So how we can get that keys? So I will store that keys. First of all, we'll store them in the development. Let's say we'll store them here in this one, in the app settings folder. Let me get the keys, and I will add them here. That's our keys. So I need way, as we said, to get that key. So the best option, the best things is to create class for that key and to store them in that class while we are starting the project. So, and let's create folder here in the app code. I will call it, let's suppose, let's add it under the models, because will be that models. Let's go under this one. We add something called app settings model. So any things I want to get from that app settings, I'll create subclasses in this one and call that data. So here what I need to create class, class this one. So this class will contain my Google Recaptcha. They will store it here to use the I option with it. So that's it here. Now let's try to create again new folder to register our services. So I don't want to call make it straight away or register it straight away in the startup. So we don't want to say add Google, you don't need to add the I option here. So let's create small folder in this one here. Let's say give me a new folder, and also inside that one I want a new class. I will call it service collection. So inside this service collection, so this one, it can be for multi-services here. So let's do this one like this. So we have nothing here. We'll just make it partial only. Close it, that's fine. So under this one, I need to create something called Google service collection or Google Recaptcha. Let's go under this one again. Let's create class. I'll make it subclass service collection with Google Recaptcha service. So inside this Google Recaptcha service, I will create why? I don't think I created as a class. Let's say .cs. Yes, they're accepted. Yeah, nice. So let's close this one. So here we add the iService collection. Let's call the iService collection here. I don't know why it's not coming. I think something wrong with it. Let's delete this class again and re-add it one more time. And let's put it again here. And this time, let's make sure it's a class, service collection capture class. Yes, it should be correct. And let's say this one here. I'll open this line now. Now we're good. So that's fantastic here. So what we have done here, we called the service configuration. So we store everything coming from something called Recaptcha Google Recaptcha settings, which we store it in the app settings here. Sorry, in the development one. So it will come to this tag here, and we'll take the Google Recaptcha, and we'll take both key and secret key, and we will store them in that class we have created together. So that's here we are just saving time, not to write anything hard code. So in the startup, they will load all the keys from the app settings. So how we can call that one? Just in the startup here, now we need to call it. So just by saying service dot add Google Recaptcha, we have to pass the config to. So that's how we get the keys. So during the runtime. So now again we're back to our front end for that key here. So still we can get the key here. So what we have to do, so let's uncomment this code here. So still I need to inject that key or that data in the front end. How we can do that? All the things we are doing is just to call something called I option, which is this one. So we said here we're injecting the I option. We said this is our class, and so during the runtime we'll get the key from that I option we have injected already or registered already. So I think almost ready here in the front end. If we run, let's try run it. Let's see what will happen here. I think it's simple till now, nothing that hard to be honest with you. The hard part will be how to create that or how to verify that service. So let's see, just run the application and we see what we'll get. Let's go to the contact us page. We should be able to see something here. Where is it? Let's check if there's any issue with the code. There is no issue. We couldn't find the on callback. I think we have enabled everything. Yeah, here is it. So the main purpose, if you click on it, it should make them up. That's correct. So also let's see we are getting value or no. So remember we have something under this one. It was hidden, which was in the message under the message element. This one here. So I just want to remove the hidden from here just to see the value. So we are getting value here. So I think everything's in the front end working fine. So now what we'll do, so what we need to do is we send this value with this message, with this other stuff we are sending to the controller. So what we can do, we come back to the JavaScript. In the JavaScript we have already something called Recaptcha. So we are sending that in the model already here. And yeah, that's it. So what we can do now, let's back to our controller, which was called something here, the contact us. So in the contact us, if we check here, in this one, we don't have anything called token or yeah, Google Recaptcha token. So, and also I need to add something here to be not mapped. I don't need to send this to the database. So let's say string, and will be this one to store the token inside it. That's good. So we got the token here now, but before I execute this stuff here, or before executing anything to go to the database, I want to check that token. Is it correct or no? So I send it to we send our request to Google through the front end, and they give us back token. So that token I need to read it or recheck it with Google, to be honest with you, and to see how is that token correct or no. So how we can do that? I think something here should be, I don't know if they can show us how we can verify that token. I think here maybe. So as we said, after we get the token, we have to send it to this URL. So we need to create service or endpoint, something to read this endpoint, and we send the token through it, and they will send us. So our so the response will be, I think it will be just we send the token, and they will send us back if it's succeed or not succeed. That's what we need only. So how we can do that? So let's close all here. We don't need this one. So in the folder here, let's say in the one here, open it. Let's close them. So in the app folder, we can create something in a new folder. Let's call it external services. So this we can add as much as we can service inside this one. So the services, we need something called services. Come on. Let's call it iServices, and also we need the services. So we'll create interface, and we'll create the body in the different one there. So let's call the interface here. Let's leave it as a class, and we change it after. And let's call this one here. So as we said, we need to send data and receive data. So to send and receive that data, we need for them a model to handle that data. So that model we can call it. Let's create again somewhere in this models here. I think the old one, this one here, the app setting. So I don't need the app setting. Let's create again new one. Let's call it something external service model. So everything's for the external services. So maybe in future we can add send a grid for email, handling email or something like that. We can add it there. So in this one we can create it as a subclasses. This one again we call it Google Recaptcha. So inside this one, let's create a class. So this class will be the main class. And let's close here. Just make it partial. And we can create the request plus the response under this class. So let's say I am doing this one .cs, which will be I want to get my I want to send my token only. So we are just sending the token here. This is our request, and our response will be, so we'll get from there, we said get single things, which will be the succeed. You can render more than, sorry, you can, we can use JSON to get more than this one. But for us here, I think it's just enough to say yes or no. And let's do it here. So we send the token and we'll get the succeed, yes or no, or sorry, false or true. Let's include this one now here for both of them. That's fine. So here our interface is ready. Now we need to create the service. So the service, again, let's close all this here, and this one here done. Let's create a class again. We call it Google Recaptcha Service. Let me copy my small piece of code. That's not small, let's make one, but will save for us a lot of time. So in here, what we are doing, we are getting the HTTP client, also getting the option to get the keys from there, similar or the registered key as we have done with the front end, and we are doing the logger here. So we are using we are injecting, or we are registering all that in the constructor. And after that, we create only one single endpoint, which is what we'll do with the single endpoint. So we'll send the token and we'll get the response. So what we are doing here, we are saying in the HTTP client, get string async. So we'll use this key, this URL that's from Google, from the validation. So you'll send your secret key plus the token you get. You send them to Google and they will return to you, is it true or false? So as I mentioned to you, you can get more than the true and false. But for us here, only the true and false will be enough for us. So let's close this one now. Our services, they are ready. And the only things we need to do is just register that services. So where we can register that services, the easiest things, rather than I go again here and do something in you, I said, oh, register for me these two classes as a transient or something like that. So now I can, to be more clean code, let's we do it where something in the service collections we have already here. We register the the option here. So we can register the services here. So I will use HTTP straight away because I'm using their HTTP. I don't need to add it as a transient or anything. It will become my interface. And this one here. So rather than just I take this line and I added it in the startup here under this one. Now when I use it, I will just leave it in single file. All Google services they will be in this class. I think it will be this better practice, to be honest with you. Just leave your code organized as much as you can. And that's everything's here. So as we said now, we need to back to our, let's close too many things here. It was all tabs. So the second things we need, as we said, we need to go to our controller. So we said here, before you process anything with the database or storing anything in the database, we need to make sure that token, is it correct or no? So how we do that, we have already done half the job or more, or we create already service, we call it Google services here. Sorry, not this one, which is this one. And let's add it to the constructor here. Let's say, give me this one here without this one. Google services and Google services. That's it here. So now we need to call that method we have created to make sure the validation for that token. Is that token correct or no? So let's go one up here and let's call this one here. Let's say site verify the site. And also I need to return here as a I action result. And it's here nothing. So here if everything's okay, I will say return okay. That's it. To be honest with you, that's everything you need to do. What we have done, we have called our service and we say the site to verify the site. Just we are sending the token from our feedback. That's what we got from front end, and make sure is it correct or no. Let's click here and let's run the project and see what we have done is working or no. Let's go to contact us page, and we are seeing everything here. So let's say I need add my name, any subject, and any test, and let's check the Recaptcha simple mail to, and if you said click on send, it should take everything, and if I just hover on the feedback, I can't get anything. Let's jump on more, and let's hover again on it. So what I'm getting here, I'm getting my email, I'm getting everything, the token. So now here we send it to Google and we'll make sure is it true or no. If it's true, they will continue on to the DB. If it's false, they will throw an error. So they are saying the feedback has been submitted or the submission is successful. So I'm just in this video, I'm just showing you how we can register a service in Umbraco and how we can create any third-party service in Umbraco. If you see this, the Recaptcha is, I will not say it's easy, I will not say it's simple. Same time, just you see how we can use it in Umbraco. And the main purpose is just showing you how we can inject that services, and in the future I think we can do more in this one. You can create email service, you can create SMS services, and I think more and more, and just to show you how we can do that in simple way too. I hope this video is simple and you learned something from it today, and see you in the next video.